Hey guys, welcome to the Fans Voice. All right, so I'm going to talk about some potential first round trade downs and their potential, what I think could be the potential trade partners. So first up, I've got Arizona Cardinals trading back from number 3. The reason why I think they could trade back is I think their main focus is going to be offensive line. Um, a lot of the guys on the top 10, they're looking at other positions, namely defense, because those are uh, the best ones in at least the ones that most likely to go top 10. So I know Cardinals need edge, but I think they're going to be looking to make sure they're set for the young QB, whether it's Ty Simpson this year or a rookie quarterback next year. So I really think they're going to go offensive tackle with the first pick. So I think they can trade back easily and still get some decent, whether it's getting a couple more picks this year or getting looking for the future, because they got some good draft capital this year. I know it doesn't hurt to get more, especially when your team is lacking on defense, mostly a little bit on the offense. But I see them trading back with either the Saints or the Cowboys. Both of those teams really need an edge, and they would be able to get one of the top 2 edge rushers in this draft in Arvell Reese or David Bailey, because either one of those two are going to go second overall. If not, they're going to go third. And because even if the Cardinals decide to stay, that's probably what they're going to go for with number 3. No matter what, Arvell Reese and David Bailey are going to go 2 and 3. And both the Saints and Cowboys really need defense. They really need an edge. And those two are in prime position to be able to do it. The Saints, they won't have to give up as much as the Cowboys. I can see a first and a second this year to move up because they still got pick 73, or they would go the first and a second next year with something else to mix in to be able to get the Cardinals to want to trade back. And then the Cowboys, it's going to be definitely the pick 12, something from next year, and maybe a 4th round this year, 4th or 5th round next year to trade up to get pick 3. I'm probably underselling a little bit. I just don't. It'd be easy to go first to go. It'd be easy for the Cowboys to do the 12th and 20th and then get the Cardinals pick 3 and a day 2 pick. That would be fair, but they also like their pick 20. We don't know. I think a good option is the 12th, 20th for pick 3, and let's say I'm pretty sure they got pick 65. I think that would be a pretty even, fair trade. But those are the ones that I see trading up to pick 3. Next, I don't think it's really that likely for them to do it, but I can still see it happening. The Giants trading back pick 10. I know they just got it, but I can see them wanting to get more draft capital in the top 100. So the only trade partner I can see, because how I think it's going to fall, I think Ruben Bain will be there at 10. And I can see Tampa wanting to trade up for him because they really need an edge, especially since Levante David retired. So they're going to want to replenish that, and Ruben Bain can be that person for them. I know I got the shorter arms, but I still think he's really good. He's got all the potential to be really good, and I think he can work around the short arms. He's done it all throughout college, and I think he's going to be able to do it in the NFL. And I think Tampa would give up pick 15 and let's say pick 77 to bump up those 5 spots to be able to get Ruben Bain. And then the Giants will have another pick in the top 100 because right now they're only sitting at 3, but was 2. But now if they get that, they'd be able to get 4. And then be able to draft a defensive tackle like Peter Woods or Caden McDonald to help replace what they lost with Dexter Lawrence. Another trade candidate I see is Baltimore, trading back from pick 14. I don't know how likely it is, but I can see it because what I've seen in the top 30 visits, they haven't really been looking at the people that I can see going around, mid first round. The one that if they stay, probably going to go Ione or maybe even Kenyon Sadiq. But trading back, that's when they'll be able to get a defensive tackle, a pretty good corner. They'll be able to get a wide receiver that they've been looking at as well if they were to trade back. And then they can even possibly trade up more because they have a lot of picks in this draft. They'll be able to trade up back into the third or higher in second to be able to fill in more of their positions of need because they're sitting at pick 45. Nolan's looking pretty good for them right there, but they could trade up further because there might be another team that would get him a little earlier, aka like the Texans. I can see the Texans going for him at pick 38. So they can trade up with the Giants from pick 45 to pick 37 to be able to jump on Pregnon over the Texans, who I can see really picking him up. Trade partners for Baltimore is either I can see from how I think the board's going to fall, it's either going to be the Vikings or the Panthers because Dylan Theinman is sitting there nice and pretty. I think both of them going to really want him. So I could see either one of them trading up with Baltimore to make sure that they get him. He is a very interesting prospect coming out of college. I really like him, really fast, really good tackler, really good in coverage. He's got everything that you would want as a safety. So either one of them trading up to get him makes a lot of sense to me. I can also see the Panthers, whether it's Dylan Theinman or maybe even Kenyon Sadiq, because they really do need another tight end, and that'll help Bryce Young with another weapon. The last trade I think is the most likely team to trade is the Seattle Seahawks. They're only sitting with 4 picks in the draft. Pick 32, 64, 98, and 188. I can see them possibly trading back. I think it would be ideal for them to go more in like the 45 to like 60 range, trading back to that, because if they were to trade back to one of those, they'll be able to get more draft capital out of it, whether it's this year, like get like three more picks this year and a pick next year, something along those lines, where they'll be able to again be able to fill in some depth pieces that they need, because they kept most of their starters, so they don't necessarily. I don't think they necessarily need a impact starter right away outside of cornerback. Um, and I don't even know if they really need an impact guy. They need somebody who can be a starter. And I think they'll be able to do that in the second and third round. Somebody come in there and be a rotational running back, corner, and edge are like their biggest needs. And with all their picks, I think they'll be able to get some good guys to come in there and be nice rotational pieces for them. Trade partners I see for them is the Raiders. They won't have to give up as much, but I can see the Raiders wanting to do that because I could see them possibly wanting to pair Omar Cooper and Mendoza up again. And depending on what the Jets do in the first round, the Jets could go for a wide receiver with pick 33, and Omar Cooper could be sitting there for the Jets to get. So I could see the Raiders bumping up to pick 32 to grab Omar Cooper and make sure they have a nice pair with Mendoza and Omar Cooper. Next up, I see Pittsburgh wanting to trade back up into the first round, make a nice little splash in Pittsburgh. If they go offensive line first with pick 21, I can see them trading back up into the first round to grab a wide receiver like Omar Cooper, Denzel Boston, or maybe even Casey Concepcion. And then I've got the Jets. I think the Jets could be a possibility because the Cardinals are going to want Ty Simpson, and they could bump up to pick 32, trade with them, make sure that they get their guy. So that way the Cardinals don't do it. We've seen it before. When the Vikings just bumped up one spot to grab J.J. McCarthy. It'll happen. They want to make sure they get their guy. They're not sure if they will or not, so they're going to trade up one spot to do it. And then the Cardinals. The Cardinals are another team. Yeah, they got pick 34, but there's a good chance the Jets are going to grab them at 33. Or they might be thinking the Jets might want to trade up. So they're going to want to trade up and make sure they get their guy. And on top of, if they were to trade back in the first round, if they trade back in the first round, they could just grab Ty Simpson with like pick 20 or something like that. We'll see how that goes. But if they don't trade back, if the Cardinals don't trade back, they're going to trade back up into the first round to grab Ty Simpson. I think that's a good possibility. Maybe I could see the Texans coming back up in there and make sure they grab on a good offensive lineman or a good defensive tackle like Christian Miller, maybe even Caden McDonald if he's still there at pick 32. I see the Giants as another possible player to trade back up in. I don't think that's very likely. Um, they could want to get offensive linemen. They could want to get a corner or a wide receiver that they don't think is going to be able to be there at pick 37. They won't have to give up too much, and they'll be able to get a nice quality starter. And another team that I see trading up, I think it could be an option for them, is the Bears. They need a linebacker or a corner. If they trade back up into the first round at pick 32, they'd be able to get probably either CJ Allen or Jacob Rodriguez, or they can get Brandon Sis. Colton Hood if he's there, or Avion Terrell. I don't think Colton Hood's going to be there, but Sis or Terrell could be there. Or maybe they might grab Emmanuel McNeil Warren because they do need some defensive back help because they lost some. The Bears need to work on defense, and I think they have the draft capital to be able to trade up. They do have 2 second-round picks. Those are the teams that I see trading back. Let me know if you see any other teams possibly wanting to trade back. What do you think of these teams and trading up? I think it's a good one. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk with you guys later.